Yay! My apples are mushy. Ooh, that seems like an odd thing to be excited about. But tonight I'm going to show you what to do with your apples that are starting to lose their peak. Hi, my name is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and tonight we're going to look at a recipe that uses apples that are just past their prime and have turned mushy. It is homemade applesauce. There is nothing worse than biting into an apple to find out it is mushy. But there is something that I get very excited about when we start using our mushy apples, and that is homemade applesauce. And today I'm going to show you how to make it out of a few simple ingredients. First, you need some mushy apples. Then a little bit of water in the bottom of a pan and a couple spices. My choice is a ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and the teeniest bit of sugar. For this recipe, you're going to start by peeling off any labels, pulling out the top stem, and then peeling. And I'm just going to use a vegetable peeler. I start at the top of the apple and go in a circular motion. Let me show you closer. In a circular motion, which gives you one long peel. Let's see if I can keep it going. Now this apple is definitely mushy, but as you can see, there's nothing wrong with it. I think I can do it. Around the base. Just like that. And there is your peel. I'm going to set that aside. Actually, Betsy was down on the floor trying to grab it from me. Once your apple is peeled, you're going to take a knife, cut it down the center, and then quarter your apple. It's easier if you put the flat part against your cutting board, just like that. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to cut the core out. I learned many years ago, always start at the bottom. If you start at the top, it sometimes breaks off and you have to dig in there anyway. So start at the bottom. Once you have that done, I slice it one more time and add it to the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and do, not all of these apples, but a lot of these apples and see how much I end up with. Here at the homestead, I try real hard not to waste food. So even if this one has started to be mushy, it has a lot of life in it yet. I have cut up probably 5 or 6 so far. Not one of them was rotted in the center. So even if you think it is time to throw something away, you might still be able to make something else out of it. I am putting all my peels and cores into a big measuring cup, but this is going to go into my compost and make new soil for us. I use a variety of apples. Most of these are galas, which is what we usually choose to eat, but there are some sugar bees, some Fuji, probably ambrosia. I often buy apples that I find on sale that are organic. And I think when you're making something like applesauce or apple pie filling, by having a variety, it really adds to the flavor. I think I will use all these apples. It's going really quick. This one has a little bruise in it. I will just cut that out. The rest of the apple is beautiful. I used all my apples and now I moved it over to the stove. And at this point, I'm going to turn it on to about halfway. Not too high, not too low. Remember, there is about a 1/2 inch of water in the bottom. I'm not going to add any of the spices at this point, and I'm going to cook it until they are soft. So I'm going to find a lid, stick it on, and I will be back with you. And all of these peels are going into my compost. As the pan starts to heat up, you're going to want to start stirring it. The apples have been cooking for 30 minutes, and now, even though they are still holding their shape, they are completely soft. So I am going to shut this off and show you how to make it into applesauce. I poured the hot apples and the juice into my mixer bowl, and I am going to use the whisk attachment. Now, don't add your spices and sugar yet. I am going to start by mixing it until it is completely blended in. I have it all whisked in, and now I change the blade on my mixer to make it nice and creamy. Mix it to the consistency that your family likes. I am leaving it chunky. I can keep mixing this and it'll blend it all in, but I prefer to have some apple chunks in there. And now I'm going to add my spices. Now, this is different. You don't know how many apples you're making because you don't know how many apples. We're getting a little mushy. So the only way I know is to sprinkle a little in, stir it up, and then taste it and continue doing that. So I'm going to start with the cinnamon and the nutmeg, and lastly, I'll add a little sugar. I added those 3 ingredients, and now I'm going to stir it all up. It needs just a little more cinnamon and sugar. And there you have it, homemade applesauce. And I think the best thing about it is you didn't waste any apples. These were all apples that were on their way out. And instead of tossing them or feeding them to animals or putting them in the compost, you're able to use it for food. And this is delicious. I'm gonna try some right now. My goodness, it is really good. I think what is special about homemade applesauce is you can eat it while it's still hot. I like that when I'm serving something like pork chops. Or you can refrigerate it and eat it as it is cooling off or completely cold. It is up to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. And have a great day. Bye-bye.